Hey guys, this is Beanling from Waifu Wars, and today I'll be showing you my deck profile on Puyo Puyo. When I was building this deck, there wasn't that much Puyo Puyo content for Weiss on YouTube, so I'm making this video so it helps with future Weiss players that want to invest into Puyo. And my build is the meta red yellow blue build, so this is just hopefully this video will give you a general idea of where to build your Puyo Puyo deck. Before we get started, I'll give you some my general opinions of this deck. Um, this deck is pretty fun. um, Most decks that I play are pretty straightforward. And while this deck is kind of straightforward, there's a lot of utility and a toolbox that you can use to manipulate advantage for this deck. And when you go to your level 3, there's a good chance you'll probably be winning if you've been playing correctly and like been doing the right choice to get advantage for this deck. So without further ado, we'll get started, and I'll go over my card choices. So I run 4 of the Ringo runners. What she does is she's a standard mill runner where on your opponent's attack phase, you mill a top card if it's a Puyo character. You get to run in any open front row slot. So why this card is so good is it generates pure advantage. So if you can keep this card alive longer, then you generate more stock for you. And then it's also one less card for you when you use this milling ability, which helps you get closer to a climax. There are times where you'll hit a climax, and that sucks, but it is Weiss. It's bound to happen, and at least you're one card closer to getting another climax to cancel with. And having it being in the waiting room, like hitting a climax in the waiting room, is like it's better than other situations where, like, say your climax gets stuck in stock. But yeah, I run 4 of those. I run 4 of this Amity Oversize. So what this Amity Oversize does is, sorry, if you have 2 or less stock, she gets 1k in 1 level. So this is also good for your beginning of your games. This will be a level 1 3500 beater. And this will go over most level 0s. It will still die to like some oversized like 4Ks, but it's whatever. But of course, this is primarily good against the level 0 reversers, and this is also your material for your early play. So I run 4 for consistency purposes. And again, this is tricolor Puyo Puyo, so color is very important. So that's why, if you notice with this build, I'm running a lot of 4Fs for consistency. I run 4 of the Ringo Ricky clone. What this does, if you don't know already, is on play you pay 1, hit yourself 1, you search for a level 1 or lower character. So you need to search for your Brainstormer, or you need to get your level 1 plussing combo pieces. There are actually 2 level 1 plussing combos that you can do for this deck, which is pretty interesting, but I'll get to those later. So yeah, it's a general floater for your standard meta deck. I run 4 of these Sig Brainstormers. He's a pretty interesting Brainstormer where his first effect is your card in the front row center slot gets it can't be bombed by auto abilities, so any like level 1 reversers or level 0 reversers don't work for your center slot in your front row. And then it's a standard tap itself salvage plus Brainstormer. So for each climax you hit, you get to salvage 1 character. Generally, I like to have 2 of these in the back row for most of my game before hitting level 3, so I can get any type of plussing, or if I want to go through my deck pretty fast to manipulate my refresh. But overall, it's a standard salvage plus Brainstormer. The first ability is just nice to have. And then I just run 2 of these carbuncles. Ooh, that glare. Sorry, guys. What Carbuncle does is, on play, he has a discard bond ability where you can discard a card to salvage a level 3 owl to your hand, and also when this card attacks, you give another Puyo character 1k in 1 level for the turn. So for the discard effect, it's good if you want to get rid of climaxes when you know you're about to refresh, or just for that general hand fixing, like late game if you somehow didn't get your RL combo pieces, you can just play this and hand fix to your RL. And then that 1k in 1 level on attack to another Puyo character is actually pretty handy. So you can like make your like runners a bit stronger and then bypass their level 0 reversers, or this can also be like played again like at any level, and you can give any of your Puyo characters that extra 1k, which can come in handy. But generally you'll see that most of the cards in this deck is pretty weak. So I run 18 level 0s. It's pretty high towards the standard like level 16 level 0 lineup, but Puyo has some pretty good utility that I think 18 is a acceptable number. Now we're going to our level 1s. This is one of the plussing combos. We have 4 Maguros, or Magubro as I like to say. What his effect is, he combos with this Stoxel, blue Stoxel, and then on attack, if you have 4 more cards in your hand, you get to look at up to the top 4 cards of your library and add 1 Puyo card, 1 Puyo character, and then ditch the rest. So why this card is so good is that you get selective advantage where you get to pick out a Puyo character and then you ditch the rest, and that helps you revealing up to 4 helps you go through your deck faster to help you get to a refresh. So deciding like based on your situation, like obviously you're gonna grab whatever it is, but and that 4 more cards requirement isn't that hard for Puyo Puyo because you have things like your Rickies to help you replenish your hand, or you can like salvage Brainstorm to generate pluses. So yep, this is only 5k, so you'll expect this card to die on your opponent's turn especially, and you can either crash for like 2 damage or more, you can side for potentially like 1 or more, like against a level 1, like your opponent's level 1. But it served its purpose already by getting that selective hand advantage and milling through your deck. So that's not really a problem with this card and for this combo engine. So that's one of the level 1 combos. This is also the other level 1 combo that you can use, is this level 1 Amity. And what Amity does is she's a level 1 bomb, so she gets to reverse level 1 or lowers. And she also has another ability with the Climax combo, which is this wind trigger, is that when the Climax is played, anywhere during your turn, if you make your opponent level up, you get to salvage a Puyo character to your hand. So what this means is that if your opponent is like 0-6 and then you play and you're like level 1 first, then you can like, if you have this combo piece in your hand, you can play your Amities and then you can start going in for damage and salvaging. And then since I'm assuming that your this card will be higher than your opponent's level 0s, this will also be quite annoying on your opponent's turn if they want to reverse this, because they're going to lose their level 1 pretty much, unless they have like those 1/1s like can't be reversed by all abilities. But yeah, this is a pretty annoying card to go up against. And you can also run the +2 soul combo, but I like the bounce trigger better because I like 1k1s better, and that +2 soul might not be great when like it's late game and like you want to go in for less damage, and if your whole deck is just those 2 soul triggers, because the stock soul is already a 2 soul trigger, then you kind of don't always want to be over swinging. Generally, what I like to do is I like to play the Maguro first, so I can mill through my deck fast, and then this will give me more selective um, salvage capabilities with this Amity. But yeah, that's pretty much the other level 1 combo, and then there's another combo for this deck, but we'll go into that later. But another thing to note for the Amity combo is that if generally your opponent will be at like in the mid uh, uh, level 1 damage zone, and that's a good indication for you to play your Amities, because the requirement again to salvage is you need your opponent to level up. So in some cases, if your opponent is like at like 1-5 or 1-6, and then you know they have a ton of climaxes left in their deck, it's a good idea to probably side. So you'll get in. You're at least guarantee your. There's a good chance you'll make your opponent level up, and then you'll get your Amity plussing combo. And also, what I forgot to mention is that if you have multiple Amities, their effects stack. So if you like somehow can make your opponent level up twice, that's like highly unrealistic. But you get to salvage 6 cards. But obviously, any type of advantage with this combo is good. So if you can get like 1, 2, or 3, then that's good enough. But yeah, moving onwards, we have. I run one of this force refresh. So what it does is on play, you discard a card and then both players refresh. You might be thinking like, why is that effect so good? Like, why is that effect like necessary for this deck? I mean, if you're climax screwed, like if you're screwed to the point where like you've been canceling early game, you can force refresh so that like if you have like you have like a ton of cards left in your deck, and like you can't get your level 1 combo pieces off. This is like a desperate way to like kind of fix your situation up a bit. Or also, this is good for late game where when you play your level 3s and your opponent has like a ton of cards in their waiting room, but they have like but they still have like a ton of climaxes left in your deck. You can force refresh it on them, so that it'll be harder for them to cancel because they have extra cards that are going back into their deck, which decreases their chance of canceling. But yep, I only won one of this. um, you might be thinking, well, how are you gonna like draw into this card? Well, again, you have like your plus brainstormer, which you can get this card back. Or when you're using your Maguros, then you can pick this card if you really need it. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting tech card that I like. And then we also have one 2K costless backup. It's pretty standard. I don't use this at level 1, because your cards are generally weak anyways, and you don't really care if your cards die, because when you get to level 2 and onward is when you start really going more aggro, I'd say. And you'd rather be saving this for like better targets, but yeah. That's pretty much it for my level 1 lineup. I have 10 level 1s. So for the level 2 lineup, I won 2 of these stock bombers. What he does is if he's facing a level 3, or if he's facing an opponent's character that's higher level than what they are, he can send that character to stock and then it replaces a stock, so it's a typical stock bomber. And also on play, he has a search command where you can pay 2, and then you search for an RL card. I don't really use the second effect, but it's just nice to have, I guess, just in case if you really need to search out RL. But by then, if you're playing this card, you should generally have ways to get RL already, or you already have RL in your hand. So yeah, it's a just nice card to have. I run 2 of this Carbuncle Assist. What this card does, it gives all Puyo characters in front of it 1k in hexproof. This is a very powerful effect for your level 3s, and generally I don't really play this card until I hit level 3. And again, you only really need to play this card against certain matchups. The hexproof, like if you're going up against a deck that doesn't run doesn't run any money counters, then there's really no point to like prioritizing this card to play at like level 2 or whatever. And then again, like most people play money counters at level 3 and onward. But the extra 1k will be nice. Also, if you plan on early dropping one of the level 3s in this deck. But yep, I only have 2 of those Carbuncle Assists because it's there if I need it. And again, if I really need it, then I can just like search it out or salvage it out. I mean, search it out with like Maguro. I run 2 of these 2-1 2500 backup. I prefer this backup because I like this backup a lot is because it's a Leafa backup, and what if you don't know what a Leafa backup is you reveal the top card of your deck, and it's in this case if it's a Puyo character you have to add it to your hand and you discard a card. So obviously it's good for hand fixing, but what I really like about the effect is that you're 1 less damage away from getting closer to hitting a climax, so it's pretty clutch. And that is it for my level 2 lineup. That's 6 level 2s. And for my level 3s, this is the early play that I was talking about. This is Amity, and what her requirement is, if you have that level 0 Amity beater that I was talking about earlier, she gets minus, in your clock, she gets -1 level. So what you want to do is probably hold on to an Amity until you hit level 2, and then play this, and then clock your Amity and then play this. And her effect is, on play, you get to look at up to the top of the cards of your library equal to X, and X is equal to how many Puyo characters you have, including itself. So it's a good cantripping ability if you need to get out certain cards, if you need to add a certain card to your hand. And she gets 500 for each other Puyo character. So assuming you have a full field, she'll be 11k, and then if you have the Carbuncle Assist, then she'll be 12k. It's a pretty good card to play at level 2. But generally, I play this card when I've like refreshed. And it's pretty easy to refresh with Puyo Puyo because you have a lot of milling capabilities. But yep, this you can get out a certain level 3 climax combo that I'll get to next. So this is probably, I guess, the draw to Puyo Puyo is 4 of these lovely SPs. 4 of the level 3 Amities. And what she does is, on play, she gets a cancel burn no matter what. So, and then her second ability is, if you have this climax again, the win climax, she gets another cancel burn. And on attack, she gives all Puyo characters, including herself, 2k. So a lot of people will like correlate this to Yami, which I can kind of understand, but she's still kind of different than Yami because she gets that guaranteed. Amity gets, not Amity, RL gets that guaranteed cancel burn, whereas Yami, you need to have the climax combo. And she doesn't come with hexproof like Yami does. And of course, RL will get stronger with her climax combo because the ideal field was to have 3 of these on the field. And when you attack, the first one will be 13k, And then if you have the carbuncle assist, that's another case, so like 14. And then this one will be 16, and the other one will be 18. So yeah, it's pretty stupid with that. Because if your opponent is like at like 3-1 or 3-2, that's pretty much GG on them, because they're gonna have to deal with two instances of Cancer Burn for each RL, and then they also have to deal with the attack itself, which is at least 3 damage. So yeah, that's why RL is pretty scary when you're going up against Puyo Puyo, and that's 8 level 3s. And again, for my climaxes, the lineup is 4 of the Wind, and that glare. 4 of the Wind, and then 4 of the Stock Soul. But yep, that's pretty much it for my Puyo Puyo. So pretty much in summary, the level 0 and 1 is utility and like milling through your deck pretty fast, so you can get that selective advantage and getting closer to refresh. And then the Amity helps you return that milling by salvaging those cards back, and then having a level 1 bomb on the field that you either crash into your opponent, or you can keep them out on the field, so when it's your opponent's turn, it's going to be kind of annoying for them to trade off with their level 1s and against your level 1 Amities. At level 2, you want to, if you can, you want to early drop the early play Amity, so you can have a 2 Soul Beater on presence, and then Amity is also kind of big when you have like the costless backup, or you have the 2-1 backup if you really need to use it. But generally I save the 2-1 backup for level 3 when I'm getting close to dying. And then when you hit level 3 is when you go explosive and play your triple RLs. So yeah, that's it for Puyo Puyo. Thank you guys for watching this video. And yeah, bye.